A very good competition.
We go, but now, lays-offs, chuck butties, hen fruit, huevos, eggs. Eggs, friends, eggs. Which is better, brown or white? Farm fresh or battery? Quails, plovers, ducks, or ancient Chinese? I have the very woman here to solve these questions that have so vexed man over the centuries. Egg buyer and expert, Marilyn Aslani. I want you to pay attention because this is terribly important, and this is another chance for me to eat. I am on a bit of a diet. Now this is, you'll notice that I'm a wrapper and not a chopper. Now look, see, that's the genteel way to do it. This is an ordinary white egg, Marilyn, or unless I miss my guess.
It's an ordinary white egg.
An ordinary white egg. And I will use this as the yardstick for all the other eggs we're going to eat, including quails and something unspeakable at the end. Delicious.
Delicious. Now, there's only 90 calories in that as well. I know you're on a diet.
Well, there's a gram of cholesterol in that egg, isn't there?
Ah, the cholesterol's in the yolk, but there's lecithin in the white.
Honestly,
so
I'm so hungry.
You should eat the whole thing.
How do you boil an egg before we start?
Well,
come on, it's not as easy as you think.
This is going to be teaching your grandmother to suck eggs.
No, but
first of all, you've got to test if it's fresh. If somebody gave you some eggs, how would you know if it was fresh?
I wouldn't. I'll be brutally frank.
Well, when you crack an egg, it's obvious if it's fresh, because when it's a nice new egg, it all sort of holds, the white holds around the yolk. But as they get older, they're like people, and they get flabby and saggy.
Yes, I do know what you mean, but I'd rather wish you hadn't brought it up.
Now, a whole egg in its shell, you drop it into a bowl of water to test if it's fresh. If it's fresh, it sinks right to the base of the bowl. If it's an old egg and shouldn't be used, it will float to the top.
I
so
see.
That's how you tell.
Good. That's a nice little tip there. And then, of course, you take it back to your fruiterer.
Yes.
But there is a tendency now, isn't there? I mean, the white egg is a thing of the past. People think brown eggs are healthier, don't they? Why is that?
There's no difference, and there's absolutely no difference in flavour, right?
No. Oh, well.
Apparently there's a hen called the white leghorn, which lays all of the white eggs, and all the other hens lay the brown ones.
And so there's no difference between brown. People shouldn't worry about getting brown eggs.
I think it's just this wholesome idea that people think that the brown eggs are much better for them, but they're not. There's no difference.
And what about the difference between free-range eggs? I mean, this is a free-range egg.
That's a free-range. That's an
I know me
eggs.
I can tell a free-range egg from a distance. I can tell you. There's supposed to be a difference in the taste. They're battery eggs.
Well, the Ministry of Agriculture told me today that they don't think there's any difference in flavour, but I know lots of people would say that a free-range egg has a better colour and better flavour. It's just a matter of opinion.
There's very little difference, isn't it?
Yeah, not much different.
I mean, I know, because somebody's told me, who worked in a chicken farm, that sometimes if they get really dirty battery eggs, they put them among the free range. Because people think if there's a bit of dirt attaching to the egg, it can't be that. What class of an egg is that?
There's flavour. Now that's an Irish egg.
An Irish egg, eh? I bet this will have a flavour. Are they?
That's true, they feed those on Guinness.
Well, are they different to your ordinary? I bet they are better, much better for you, aren't they?
What, the Irish egg?
Yeah. Well, immediately, yeah.
Again, there's no difference.
Would you like a bit of this egg? I'm not getting this. Is a great egg. This is an egg to take home to your mother. Why are Irish eggs different?
You're only supposed to have one dip. They told me before, you're on a diet and you're only allowed one dip.
I know. When you're on a diet, you have to eat. Keep up your strength. So they'd have a different. I mean, it's the taste of an egg is changed by whatever the little hen is eating, isn't it? If it's a free range, isn't it?
No, again, it doesn't change the flavour at all. People go for the free range eggs because the hens are running around in open runs.
Yeah.
And they're happy hens. They're scratching around and eating seeds and worms and vegetation.
But I mean,
and
the hen's diet has no effect on the flavour of the egg.
No, I did read that constipated hens lay more eggs, but
Are people eating less eggs than they used to?
There's been about a 2% decline, but the UK went through 11 billion eggs last year. It's a lot of eggs.
It certainly is.
It sure is. Well, it's not just eating them like this, it's eating them in cakes and puddings. Now, I've seen you with dipper eggs, but what do you like with a fried egg? Are you a sunny side up man, or are you
I'm a sunny side up man, yes. No, I'm not a one. That's an American invention, once over easy. Yeah. I'm a sunny side up. But the colour, what about the colour of the yolks? I mean, I noticed that these are deeper, because the Irish egg is a paler colour than that, for instance. What do you think? Or maybe you haven't boiled it properly.
No.
You don't? So people don't go for a different colour in their yolks, don't they?
Well, they like the deeper colour. They like the deeper colour because they feel it's
This is a pale little egg, isn't it?
Yes.
What's this, a quail's egg?
This is a quail's egg. Good?
Very good.
Now, you can actually serve those either soft-boiled or hard-boiled. And you can serve them in a pretty napkin. You can see they've got lovely...
It seems kind of... What have you done now?
It's blue tack to the plate.
I find that keeps them quiet in moments of stress. Throw eggs at the audience. It usually comes the other way. Now look, those are the quail's eggs. It's kind of cruel to eat a little egg like that, isn't it?
No, it's not at all. It's a very pretty little egg. They're very popular with children. They're great for picnics. You can hard-boil them, medium-boil them, put them in salads.
This is the new technology egg, isn't it?
Yes.
Marilyn? Now
This is something very new.
Yeah.
This isn't in the shops yet, folks. You're one of the first people to try this.
Don't be so envious, for goodness sake. When the show is over, I shall pass among you with this egg. This is... Pardon me.
I hope you don't have social engagements tonight.
This, in fact... why have they coloured it this yellow colour? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's an artificial egg, isn't it, really? It's
a real egg, but it's got a special flavour.
It's a ham-flavoured egg.
It's a ham-flavoured egg, yes.
If you don't have to have bacon with these, you just have the egg and a yolk.
That's right.
Oh, finally. What's this?
Well, as you're a mature man of the world, I thought you couldn't just stand here with dippy eggs. So this is something exotic.
No, I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this before.
Would you like to... Do you want to eat it first and then let me tell you about it, or do you...
Well, tell me about it
That's not blue tack, do you?
Tell me about it first.
It's a 1,000-year-old egg from China.
Have you tasted any of these?
Actually, I did. It's a bit like chewing a Wellington.
Is it? You dip it in soy sauce or something?
No, that's red vinegar with fresh ginger.
And you just...
Now,
oh, God, it's gone.
This is a preserved egg. It's preserved in a limey soil, which I'll tell you more about in a minute, with chaff and tea.
Yeah.
And it's actually preserved for about 100 days. It's a duck egg.
But it's not 1,000 years old.
It's not 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
But I found out today that they're not supposed to be imported because I have to tell you now that they're not supposed to be imported. They smuggle them into Soho because they're preserved in horses' urine.
Marilyn. You think we rehearse all this with your own? And just in case you think these eggs are going to be wasted, when the program is over, we move among the audience and give them to the needy poor. Now, welcome a giant, a colossus of the theatre and the opera, film and design, acknowledged as among the greatest directors of his time, and a brilliant stage designer. He was also an actor and a partisan in World War II in Italy. Now, before we meet him, here's a moment from his very first film, starring two rather well-known faces. It's The Taming of the Shrew.